Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a ultimate new player's guide to get you from a noob to a pro in Blade and Soul. Now, I know a lot of persons out there are unsure of a lot of things in the game, and this video will be a step-by-step guide on how to progress. Now, let's start from the beginning of things. You start the game with the class of your choice. Now, choosing the wrong class can really affect your gameplay while playing Blade and Soul. So, I'm just going to be listing out the 5 best classes in the game currently. Okay, now you have the Gunslinger, the Bard or the Musician class, the Warden, the Blade Master, and sometimes the Warlock. Now, the Warlock is a very helpful class. It is not busted in DPS. If you like DPS, it's best to choose a Musician, a Gunslinger, a Blade Master, but keep in mind Blade Master is a tank class. Now, if you have high ping and you want to have soul burn and help people, or you just want to tank and be helpful, then a Warden is the class for you. Now, keep in mind each class difficulty is a lot different, so you might not enjoy the class that can give you the DPS, but I will leave a link to a video in the comment section of this video to see gameplay footages of all classes in the game. If you're not enjoying the class that can give you the DPS, then you won't enjoy the game, so it's best to play what you love. Now, Bard or Musician can give you the DPS, but for some people it's boring. Now, Gunslingers can give you the DPS, but the third spec is a bit difficult for some people. So it's really up to your personal preference. Now, if you're a person who's not looking for DPS and you want to mainly help persons in the party, then you can go for a grab class, which is a Kung Fu Master, a Destroyer, a Blade Dancer, a Soul Fighter, or a Warlock. Now, if you want to help buff your party, then you can go for a Warlock, a Warden, and a Astromancer. Now, if you want something that is a little on the complex side, like a difficult class to play, you can go for the Dual Blade. Now, Dual Blade is a very high risk, high reward class. Like, it is super hard to play. This class can hit those high numbers on super low gear character, but keep in mind this class has a health issue. This class reduces its HP down to 30% for a couple seconds during your burst, and this will prove to be fatal in the end. So you will die a lot if you don't time your skill rotations and time your burst, and you will not do the damage if you don't know how to do your burst. So yeah, it's pretty much hard to play. Now, if you want something that is a bit complex but a little less risky than a Dual Blade, you can go for a Kung Fu Master. Now, keep in mind Kung Fu Master is also a grab class, so sometimes you will not be the highest DPS due to you grabbing the boss, so you won't be DPSing for some time. Now, let's talk about talents. Now, talents are basically the play style of your character. Now, every class in the game has a specific setup to deal damage, resist, or skill CD reduction. Now, if you want to know the specific talent for your class, you can ask your faction chat or your world chat. So that is basically it for the choosing your class segment. Now it's time to talk about progression. Now, if you're just starting to play the game, the first thing you want to do is to complete the story. You want to focus on the yellow quest until you reach the end. Now, the reason for this is because there's a new continent in the game which has a lot of rewards for you, so it's best to complete that so you can enjoy the full experience of the game. Now, after completing the story, the first thing you want to focus on is Soul Boost. Now, Soul Boost is the system that will give you all the gear that you need in the game to kickstart your journey to endgame. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to click on Soul Boost. Once you open up Soul Boost, you will see some rewards become available to you. That's because you log in. Now, once you complete the quest here, you will collect the rewards here. The more quests you complete, the more stages you unlock. The higher the stages you unlock, the more rewards you get and the more points you get, and each of these are measured in levels. So you just go down each of these stages as you get the points. Okay, so the first thing that you will be getting is soul shields, weapons, accessories, gems, and soul, badge, all of those items. Now you're gonna replace what the story give you with these items here. Now keep in mind, you do get a set of soul shield here. You're gonna replace those soul shields with the other soul shields that you get later on in the soul boost. So some of the items you will be replacing them as you get better ones down the line. So that is basically how the soul boost tab works. Now I do have a specific guide on the soul boost. I will show you the link here, and I will leave a link in the comment section of this video so you can click it to get a full in-depth guide on how to gear up with soul boost. Now, Soul Boost only gives you the second best item in the game, so we have to put in the work to get the best items in the game. So to start things off, the first thing you want to focus on is your OCULUS accessories. Now, your OCULUS accessories comes from Demon's Bane dungeon. Now, with that being said, that leads to the last Demon's Bane dungeon that drops the OCULUS accessories, which is the belt and the bracelet, and this dungeon is fairly new. This dungeon is called the Abyssal Throne, and this dungeon is super chaotic. It is a bit difficult than Chimera Lab and requires all the party members to pay attention to what's going on. Now I do have a guide on it, and I will leave that on the screen, and I will leave a link to that video in the comment section down below. Now in order to recruit people to do multi-farms of this dungeon, you basically need to write in your faction chat or your world chat, Abyssal Throne stage 5 multi need grab or buff apply to me, and people will start to apply to your party and you just follow through. So once you have at least 2 to 3 of the OCULUS accessories, you want to start focusing on your solo dungeon, and this solo dungeon is called the Shrouded Ajanara. This solo dungeon drops the Dawn Bright Mystic Badge chest and the Dawn Bright Amulet chest. The Dawn Bright Amulet chest will be replacing your Silver Steel Amulet, and the Dawn Bright Mystic Badge chest will be replacing the Mystic Badge that Soul Boost gave you. So this is how you're gonna get those accessories. Now luckily I already have a guide on this, so I will put a link to that video up on the screen and you can check that out. I will leave a link in the comment section of this video as well, so you can click there to find that specific video. So once you're in the process of farming your Shrouded Ajanara runs at normal mode, because normal mode is what drops the Mystic Badge and the Amulet chest, you want to do your Chaos Supply Chain stage 5 multi runs. You can either do your Chaos Supply Chain multi runs while you're in the process of getting your OCULUS accessory, or the process of getting your Shrouded Ajanara Mystic Badge and Amulet chest, because this is something that you don't have to be in a rush to do, because keep in mind in the future they'll increase the drop rate and it is a time consuming process, so you want to do it slowly as you go through, but this is something that you have to do. So with that being said, that will push us into the gem and the soul shield progression. Chaos Supply Chain stage 5 drops the true soul shields, that is the endgame soul shield in the game. Soul Boost gave you the soul shields at legendary tier, that is the second best in the game. Now when you first acquire your soul shields from the Soul Boost, you want to make sure you add critical to them. Now as a new player, you don't have much critical, and critical plays a big role in DPS. So if your DPS is low, it could mean that you haven't fused your soul shields with the critical primers. So it's pretty easy to add critical to your soul shield. So basically you just need to look for the critical primer, then click on your soul shield piece that you want to add it to, then add it over along with the materials, and then click evolve. That's basically it. You want to do this to all 8 of your soul shield pieces. Another important thing that you need to know is that all soul shields in the game, they do have a set effect. Now what you want to do is set your soul shields by either 3, 5 or 8. So you should have no more than 3 of the same, or 5 of the same, or 8 of the same soul shield pieces, because they do have set effect, and if they're not set by this order, it will throw off the effect. Now if you want to recruit people for Chaos Supply Chain stage 5 runs, you basically open your faction chat or your world chat, and then you type Chaos Supply Chain stage 5 multi need grab and buff apply to me, and that should help get persons in your party. Again, accept them. Once you have 4, go in and do the runs and do it over and over again. Now you do get gems from Chaos Supply Chain, and basically the gems that Soul Boost gives you over time, you will slowly change these to the ones that Chaos Supply Chain gives you. Now you will be using the Transmutation tab to achieve better gems, but that is basically a overrun of the gems. Now I do have a complete guide video on Chaos Supply Chain with the Soul Shields, what to do with the Soul Shields, the priming, the augmentation, what to do with gems, how to transmute to get better gems, and I will leave a link to that on the screen, and I will put a link in the comment section of this video. So with that being said, let's go over all the items. I got this from Shrouded Ajanara, Soul Boost. I got the weapon from Soul Boost, the gems from Chaos Supply Chain, Grim Nexus, Chimera Lab, Abyssal Throne. This is the Starcross belt from Soul Boost. I haven't gotten the OCULUS one from Abyssal Throne as yet. This is from Chimera Lab. This is from Shrouded Ajanara. Soul Boost. Now it only looks like this because I did level it up, but you don't have to focus on that as a new player. Now the soul, the heart, the talisman, and the pet aura, I did get them from the Soul Boost. I just continue to level them up and then transfer them to a mythical item. Now with that being said, it's time to go into the other segment, which is increasing your DPS while you have the gear now. So what is next? We're going to be talking about the enchantment system, the Guildstone, the compound, the insignias, all of that. So let's start off with the enchantment system. So the enchantment system, or the enchantment in general, is basically you getting more stats from your accessories, such as your mythical item. Now your mythical items, they do have plus stages. So you have +1, +2, +3, +4, +5, and 6. Now once you hit certain milestones, such as a +6, a +11, a +16, you get special effects on your accessories. These effects can vary from critical, defense, HP, mystic, crit damage, and such. So when you do hit these milestone stages, the page or the tab will become available to you, and basically you need to use the essences to switch or reroll your stats. Now the main one that you want to go for is Mystic, but keep in mind, if you don't get the Mystic, if you do get like crit damage or boss AP, that is sometimes okay. So with that being said, let's talk about augmentation. Now augmentation is using your psyches to upgrade your accessories to get more stats. Now over time you will be using your Soul Boost psyches, but as you progress to endgame, you'll be doing stage 5. We're getting stage 5 psyches from the specific Demon's Bane dungeon. Now keep in mind, the psyches can only work on a specific accessory, so if you get a psyche from a specific dungeon, it's more likely that that psyche can only be used on the accessory that you get from that specific dungeon. Now with that being said, let's talk about Guildstones. Now Guildstones are specific stones that you get from the Wheel of Fate that is located outside of the dungeon. These stones gives you specific stats that are targeted towards the specific dungeon it is for. Now these stats can vary from boss AP, piercing, defense while you're in that specific dungeon. So these stones are very important to get more damage, and it's very important in helping you progress to higher stages in the future. Now these stones combined with the insignias makes you really powerful and push you to stage 8 and so forth. But keep in mind, you still need some form of gear to actually go to stage 12, and in most cases the mechanics gets difficult as well, so you have to keep that in mind. Now I do have a specific video on this, and I will put that up on the screen, and I will leave a link in the comment section as well. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the insignias. Now insignias are stones that you equip to your character to deal specific damage when the requirements are met. Now these stones are not only targeted towards damage, but you can get CD reduction, defense, and other effects from these. Now these stones you will be rotating as you go into different dungeons, because they do have dungeon requirements and they do have condition requirements that you have to follow in order for them to activate. Now you do have certain ones that you need to always have on, and this one is the Blood for Blood and also the Twilight insignia. These two insignias are very important to have on your character at all times. Now, if you're dying, you want to remove the blood for blood, but that is a pretty good one to have. Now, I have a guide video on this that I recently released, so if you're new to insignias, I guarantee that that video will help you out a lot. I will put that video on the screen, and I will put a link in the comment section of this video to find that. So yeah. Okay guys, so the next thing that we're going to be talking about is the Unity tab. Now, the Unity tab is a very important tab in Blade & Soul because this will give you more attribute and more stats. It will also give you buff. Now, these buffs vary, so we're going to be discussing that soon. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the Unity rank. So the Unity rank is basically you rank up with reputation points. Now, you can get reputation points for completing quests, doing your daily challenges, or using these charms. Now, you can see here that once I use these charms, my points goes up. So once you max this out, you will hit the next rank in your Unity page, and basically you will get points. So if I go to the 195 rank, I will be getting 23 critical, 15 recovery, and 351 HP. Now, this is not much, but keep in mind the more you advance, more attributes as you go along. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the Splendor Stones. Now, with these Splendor Stones, it's a bit different, okay? Once you increase in rank, you will get more slots available to you. But with this update, I think that after you hit a certain rank, all the pages will come unlocked. I'm not sure how that goes, but yeah, that is what I heard. So let's jump right into these stones. Now, you get most of these stones from SOULBOOST. You also get them for doing certain quests, so that is something to note. These are what the chest looks like. If it's purple, that means it's a heroic tier, so that is important to know. Now, to get better versions of these stones, because normally SOULBOOST gives you like a couple of the awakened one, some of the yellow ones, and then it gives you purple one. So the biggest question is, how do you get better tiers of these items? So in order to know the different tiers, you have to look at the writing, okay? So the writing here is in blue, so that is basically the basic tier that it is. Then you have the purple one, which is the heroic tier. Then you have the yellow ones, which is the transcendent. Then you have the awakened one, which is in orange. And then you have the mystic one, okay, or the mystical one, which is in pink. So basically you go up by refining your stones. So let me show you. So first we're going to start with the basic stones. So you slot in 8. Once you slot in 8, you will see here the chance, okay? Now, if you see confirm, that means there is no chance, it is guaranteed. Refine this. So I did end up back with the base one that I had before. So let's go again and refine. Okay, there it is. I did get the heroic tier. So that is how you get better tiers. So in order to get a better tier above the purple ones or the heroic ones, you basically need to fuse all 8 or refine all 8. So let's see. You can see the chance there. So I hit refine, and there I got a yellow one, a transcendent one, or a legendary one, okay? So that is how you get a better version of this. So in order to get a better tier than the transcendent ones or the yellow ones, you basically need to fuse 3 opposed to 8. Okay, so let's go into this. So we're going to try and get one more of the transcendent one, okay, by fusing the purple ones. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got another one. Okay, so now in order to get the awakened one, you'll hit refine and use all the yellow ones that you have. So you see, it is now confirmed to be a legendary one. So instead of using 8, you're using 3 now. Okay, so once I hit this, I should get a awakened one, and there it is. So that is how you actually fuse to go up. Now, to get the mythical one, it's a bit tricky in RNG chance, and I think there is a cap to how much of these stones are the points that you can register, so that is something to note. So yeah, this is a bit risky, but let me try and see if I can get one. Okay, just making sure that these stones are not good. Okay. And I didn't get one, okay? But I did get a accuracy of this one. So that leads to the next part of the Unity tab. Basically is to replace the stones that are not worth using, okay? Now, at the end of the day, you want to have all of this awaken and then slowly try for the mythical one. But as a new player, the mythical one will be a lot harder because your main mission is to try and get the best rolls, okay? So what do I mean by rolls? Now, if you look at the title of this insignia, you see accuracy, okay? If you look at the next one, you see critical. These are stats that you need to have on your stones. The next one that you do need is boss AP, okay? So if you look at these stones, I'm getting boss attack power. If you look at this one, I'm getting critical. If you look at the next one, I'm getting accuracy. These are stats that the Unity tab will give you, and down the line you will be reducing the amount of accuracy and critical on your soul shield for boss AP. So this page will replenish that, okay? So that is why you need to make sure you have at least critical, accuracy, boss AP on these. So once you have any of that, you can keep it. So as a new player, this will take a lot of time for you to focus on each specific stone and trying to get the best rolls here and there. So my advice to you is just try to get all of them awakened for the buff. So once you have everything orange or awakened, you will be getting better buffs, okay? So you can see the buffs here: 103 boss attack power, all of these stats here. That is something that is going to add value to your character. Now, as time goes by and you fill this out awaken, then you're going to slowly use the other stones to get better orange or better awakened stones. Okay, so let's say you want a better version of your orange or your awakened stones, okay? You're basically going to refine a awakened one with a transcendent one to get a confirmed legendary, okay? Now, the only way this will change to mythical is if you use 2 awakens. If I use 2 awaken, then that will change to a chance of the mystical one. So basically, I'm just going to go through these stones, and anything that is saying defense or recovery or anything like that that doesn't give damage or some improvement on my damage, I'm just going to be replacing it. So let me go through. So far so good. Okay, we have a combat health regen here. Remove that. Okay, I have an accuracy stone which I'm going to use. Okay, now the best thing here is the boss AP, to be honest, because 777 boss AP on each of these will be sweet. Now each of these stones have different stats, so the main stat that you're looking at is the one in the text title, okay? That is the boss attack power. Everything else is concrete for that stone, so the middle stat in there is the one that changes. Now, 2 things to remember once you're refining these stones is that you cannot combine the smaller stones, which is the radiant stone, to get a ascension stone, which is the bigger stone. You cannot combine the bigger stone, which is the ascension stones, to get the same ascension stone or a big stone. You will always get radiant stone no matter what you're fusing. Another thing to note is that once you're refining these stones, the color do matter. So if you have a full yellow one, you will get a guaranteed yellow one. Now if you do throw in a red one in the mix, it will change the percentage to give you a chance at the red one based on how much red ones you input. So that is something to note. So the art gallery is a new addition to Blade & Soul. Basically, it came out like a couple patches ago. I'm not fully down on this because I don't really care for this system much, but it is helpful once you hit those higher tiers. You start to get some bigger attribute points. But yeah, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to get these portrait chests, right? Once you open them, it will give you some arts, okay? So these arts you can find in here, and basically you need to complete these contracts. Now these contracts that you can see here, once you have all of these highlighted, you can register them, and once you register them, you get the attribute that you see here. Okay, so that's basically how you work this system. Okay, so there I completed that contract. Now I'm getting all of these points, so it's pretty much straightforward. It's pretty much just farming stuff in the game, collecting as much as possible, and then try to complete all of those. So it is going to be a long process. Okay, not going to stay too long on this topic. I will have a video on this in the future. Now, the journal is pretty new to the game, and basically a lot of new players don't really understand it, so I'm going to try and break it down to you as smooth as possible. So basically, with this journal, you have certain tasks that you need to do, and once you complete them, you get attributes. Okay, so first let's take a look at what you can get. Now here you can see all the attributes that you can get. So basically at the end of the journal, you basically get 125 boss AP, accuracy, critical, crit damage, and mystic. Okay, 4,200 mystic. Now that is sweet. Okay, now how do you go about finishing up these? Basically, you have different categories. You have collections, soulmate, kills, story, and you have mysteries. So basically you need to go to these places. So basically the journal is pretty much a fun thing to do. With the collections, you basically need to walk around the northern continent and pick up certain items, and these items will contribute to each of these items that you see here. Once you complete each of them, you will be able to accept the attribute points. Okay, so that is basically how you complete the collection side of this. For the soulmate, you basically need to get portraits from the northern continent, so you can kill the mobs and the mobs will drop some chests. So it is RNG of them dropping the chest, but once you get the chest and you open it, you will get some portraits, and basically you need to register them. Okay, so that is something you should know. For the kill category, you basically need to kill these mobs. So again, you need to walk around, look for the mobs, you can look at their names and then kill them, and once you kill a certain amount of them, you will get to complete the quest journal for that category. So again, for the story, you basically need to complete quests. Now if you're not sure how to find these quests, basically open your map. So if you look here, you see supply lines. Open your map, look at the blue ones, and you will see the name of them come up. So you can see there is supply lines, complete the quest, and then you can just complete this and get the attribute points that is there. Pretty easy and straightforward. Now for this one is a bit more difficult because you do need to visit the area, and once you visit the area, you need to look for the blue thing. I'm gonna have something on the screen to show you exactly what you're looking for, and I will have a guide out on this in the future on maybe how to clear each and every one of these, so that is something that you can look forward to. Okay, now with that being said, let's talk about the bounty system. Now the bounty system is pretty much a new system in the game, and basically, as you know, a bounty means you need to take out a target. Now basically every week you will get a set of targets that you need to kill, and once you kill them, you will get the Northern Continent honor coin. This coin is very important. So as you can see here, I need to kill this guy, I need to kill that guy, her, and this guy here. Now these are bosses. Now you can get bosses or mobs, it doesn't matter. You just need to make sure you kill the target. So once you kill the target, you will be able to claim these tokens. So you can see here, I claim and I got the token. Pretty easy. Now what do you do with these tokens? Now these tokens are very important. You need to go to here on your map. So now that I'm here, you're gonna go to this merchant here. She sells the items that you can buy with your points. Now the main thing that you want to look at here is the skill book. That is the most important thing you need to buy. Everything else is optional. Okay, so once you get the skill book, you focus on getting something else from this tab, and basically that's how you rotate it. Okay, so get the skill book first, and anything else you need you try to get. The other week you try to get something else. Now keep in mind you're limited towards a certain amount of items per week. This skill book you can buy one every week, and if you don't know what the skill book is for, once you use it, you will get more skill points to add to your skills, and then you will get more damage. So that book is very important to get. So with all of that being said, let's talk about the BOAR event that is currently going on in Blade & Soul. Now you might heard people in the Fraction chat or World chat talking about the pig event that is going on, or that pig is starting in 5 minutes. So let's show you how to do that. Okay, so basically you go to the Northern Continent, which is the new continent. go to this side, once you wind stride here, you're basically going to come to this side over here. Now with this pig event, basically you accept your quest, and then one time for the day you can complete the daily quest. Once you complete the daily quest by killing the pig, you will get the reward tickets, and basically with these reward tickets you come here and you spin the wheel. So that wheel can give you some amazing items, but first you need to kill the pig. So let me show you how you go about doing that. So you do have spawn times for the pig. So this is where you get the quest, and the pig will spawn here. Now currently the spawn time for the pig, it varies, and I will put the time on the screen. Now keep in mind with this event, I'm not sure how long this event will go on for, so maybe a month after this video or 2, the event is not there, so that is something to note. Just ask your faction chat if it's still going on, okay? So the next spawn time that we need to pay attention to is the HAMMAN or the HAMMAN field boss, and basically at certain times, and I will put that on the screen, the boss will spawn, and basically you need to come to this location in the northern continent. Once you go there, you'll come to this tree, and once it hit the time, you'll go into the portal. Once you go into the portal will remain open for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes it will close on this side and open on the other side, and then you can fight the boss. Once you fight the boss, you will get some exciting rewards that can help you on your compound system, and you'll also get some other rewards, okay? Now let's talk about DARKWEALD. Now DARKWEALD is basically a place to gain EXP and upgrade your HM level. Now basically this can be accessed by a new player, a returning player, endgame player, it doesn't matter, okay? Now one thing to know is that you have 2 stages to this area. You have the weaker level, which is for new players or persons just starting out, but as you progress in gear, you'll have the higher stage of this. Now the higher stage of this gives you more EXP, so once you can handle it, it is best advised to go to the higher stage to get more EXP. Now while you're doing DARKWEALD, you need to make sure that you use the dragon soup, because this soup will really help you to get more EXP from killing the mobs. So you want to use the DARKWEALD dragon soup, and you want to use the master progression charm as well if you do have. Keep in mind this place does has a time limit, so you're gonna need the hourglass for it. Now you can get hourglass from the Wheel of Fate that is located outside of the Demon's Bane dungeons. Also you do get from Battle Pass, and you do get it from the Daily Dash, I think. So while you're doing the DARKWEALD, you will be getting tokens. So if you go to Mushin Tower, come to this guy, go to this tab, you will see where you can use these tokens to get more mats if you're in need of those, and you can get other items on the list. Now the next thing I want to talk about is guilds. Now you do have crafting guilds in the game that is very important to helping you with your gear progression. Now one of the places that you can find most of the guilds is the North Reach. So once you come to this area, you can see most of the guilds are located around here. So you see the Silver Cauldron, you have the Radiant Ring, you have the Soul Wardens, you have the Earthseers, and there's more located around here, I think. So yeah, so once you join the guilds, you'll be able to craft certain materials that will help you in your progression in the game. You can also sell them as time goes by. So go to crafting order, and this is the guild that I'm a part of. You can see the Earthseer and the Acquired Taste. Now basically you need to level up by making some of these low end items to get your rank up. So once your rank goes up, you will be able to craft better items. Now once you get to better items, you will be needing a bit more material than normal. Now keep in mind these special items can be broken down into a smaller item, which is called the normal paper, okay? So whatever special material here, you can salvage it to get the lower form of the material to do simpler crafts, okay? So when you're doing crafting, you will be needing a lot of crafting materials, and when you're doing your dungeon runs, you actually get these crafting materials in a chest. So you have this chest here and you have this chest here. Once you open them, you will select the item materials you need, and keep in mind these item materials depend on the guild that you want it for. Okay, so that is something you should know. So doing your dungeon runs will help towards your crafting. Now fishing is another thing you can do in Blade and Soul, so let's go right into it. Okay, so you need to go to a fishing area and talk to the fishing merchant basically to get the auto baits, or you can get them from the HAMMAN store. Okay, you have the special ones here, and you have the auto bait that this merchant sells you for I think silver. So if you go to here, you can see the baits that she has. You need to select the auto baits. The auto baits, you don't need to be there, so you can AFK. Just make sure to stat these. Okay, so once you have the bait, you come here where you see everybody fishing, and you click on the bait and you start to fish. This process is automatic once you're using the auto bait. Okay, now if you have more than one, it will continue to use them up until you're done, so you need to stat these. If you have the other one from the HAMMAN store, this one is a bit better. So yeah, so with that being said, that will wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, please like, share, and subscribe, and goodbye.